Hey there YouTube, NorCal Prepper 22 here. Gonna do a video that I said I was gonna do in my last video, which was my basic bug out bag for under $100. Now I'm gonna do a video on the Coghlan survival kit that I showed you in that video, the main survival component of that bag. I think this is a must-have kit for everyone. I don't care if you're a beginning prepper or an experienced survivalist, because you could always find a use for this kit. This could be the main staple of your basic bag. This could be excuse me, a backup kit in your vehicle. You know, this would just come in handy. And it's not very big, as you can see. It's super light, doesn't take up a lot of space, doesn't weigh you down, and the price tag on it, I believe, like I said, you can find them anywhere between $15 and $20. It's a cheap, well-to-do investment. So without further ado, let's get into that. You have the netting bag that it comes in, which I just keep it in for convenience, but you could always use the netting. I mean, you could rig this up for some type of fish trap or animal trap, or just carry things. So it comes in handy. You know, again, that's what it's all about. I showed you in the last video. It comes with a little just paperback survival guide, and it just talks a little bit of the psychology of survival. Building some shelters, fires, some basic water procurement, food procurement, whether some basic trapping, so a little bit of basic first aid, signaling, and then it shows what's in the kit. So it's very nice, very basic. Most of us outdoorsmen, we know everything in here, but it's good to have, because if you are in the situation where, you know, you're on your way home from work to home, and you know, the radio comes on, all of a sudden there's an emergency, you barely get home, you grab your bag and you go, you're going to be flustered, you're going to be a little not right, and, you know, not thinking correctly. So just a little bit of the basic stuff there, just to remind you. Now let's get into the kit. Now the kit's pretty cool. The kit comes in a waterproof bag. It's velcroed, you know, water bag, and it's got a lot of stuff in it. So let's pull it out piece at a time, and we'll start talking about it. First thing we'll pull out is an emergency poncho. You know, just your basic plastic poncho. These things are really big. They're not extremely durable, but they do come in handy. The cool thing about these is if it is raining or really windy, yes, you can put this poncho on and it's going to cover you. It'll have a hood. It's big enough for you to keep your bag on, to keep your bag from getting wet. But you can also use this as part of your shelter. You know, if you make a lean-to, you can put the poncho over it before you start putting down the pine leaves, just to make it that much more water and wind-proof. The next thing is an emergency space blanket. I love these things. These come in handy. Actually, probably when I was about 16 years old, I went on a camping trip, and probably, I think it was in December, and instead of packing a sleeping bag, I just took one of these to just see how well it could keep me warm. I wasn't really all that warm, but I didn't die. You know, I didn't get hypothermia. I didn't freeze. These things can be very warm, and if you don't tear them, they are reusable. Just a good thing to have. I mean, it'll help keep you warm. Another thing that's handy, signaling whistle. Does come in handy. If you're in a big open area, you could blow on the whistle a little bit and see if there's anybody around. Because maybe you're stranded, maybe you're lost, maybe you're looking for help. So signaling whistle does come in handy. Another thing that's kind of handy that comes in here is trail marker tape. The trail marker tape is kind of nice. It's pliable enough you could use it as use as some cordage. It's not super strong, but you could use it to maybe lash a couple of pieces together on your shelter. But the nice thing too is marking your trail. You can let people know where you've been, or you let yourself know where you've been, so you don't get yourself turned around. The next thing is a 12-hour snap glow stick. You got to be really careful when you take this in and out of the bag. You don't want to activate it. But these are nice. Just if you need to see, if you need to move around in the dark, if you need to do some night fishing, anything, those come in handy. But it is one-time use, so don't use it until you absolutely need it. Then we get into signal mirror, and I keep the little anti-scratch plastic coating on it just so it doesn't get scratched up. But a signaling mirror is great. You can use it as a shave mirror if you want. But yeah, be able to signal planes or other people. Signaling mirror does come in handy. Another thing you get in here is a paper pad and a pencil. And the paper pad and the pencil can come in handy in a lot of different ways. You can write a note and tack it to a tree or leave it under a rock to maybe let a search party know where you are. And it's also part of the psychology of survival. Sometimes if you're in a survival situation, whether you're lost or you're bugged out and you're alone, it's a good idea to write some things down. Keep your mind busy. Keep yourself focused. So the pen and paper does come in handy. There is some medical supplies in this kit. And I'm going to pull those out right now. So we got some sterile gauze bandages, some different types of band-aids, some alcohol scrub pads, and some more bandages. So just basic first aid stuff. It's not a whole lot, but it comes in the kit, so it saves you from having to buy another first aid kit. So that comes in the kit. The other thing we get, which is very important, you get a nice little mini compass, and that's always good. It's a good idea to have a compass on hand, so you know where you're at, you know where you're going. So, what else do we have in here? We have, that's right, we've got a candle. I think this candle is designed to burn for a few hours, so that's always nice. Again, for light, and even candle light, especially if you just have a small shelter, you can't get a fire built, but you can keep the candle lit under your shelter, at least a little bit of fire for your hands to stay warm. I forget what that is. That is just some sort of sticky strip. The next thing we got is a little bit of survival stuff. We've got some fishing line, a hook, and some weights. We've got a little bit of thread and a sewing needle. We have some razor blades. We have some utility wire and some safety pins. All good stuff to have in a survival situation. All this stuff can come in real handy. So don't forget that. And then the last little bit in the kit are a pair of fire sticks, that to help you start a fire, and a book of matches. Just not waterproof, plain Jane matches, but they come in their own little Ziploc baggie to keep them from getting wet. So that's the Coghlan Survival Kit. I think it's a good investment for, like I said, 15-20 bucks. I think everyone should have one, and it's got a lot of handy things in a small little pouch. And once you've used the kit, you know, if you do bug out and you're out there longer than 72 hours, which does happen, and in one of my other videos I'm going to get into a larger scale bug out bag, you know, the mesh bag and the waterproof bag, after you've used everything, does come in handy for other things. So there we have it, and probably my next video I'm going to show you my take on a larger bug out bag, and we'll see you next video.